Greetings YouTube. At the moment I am standing in my bedroom because it's the darkest room in the house, and I'm going to be testing out the Ever Ready magnetic clip light. I have this currently mounted horizontally on a sweatshirt, zippered sweatshirt, and it's about breastbone height. There we go. It doesn't have huge amounts of throw, but it has some nice flood, and if I bend down you can see it illuminates the lumpy bed here, which has got pillows and blankets on it. But it does a good job, and if I look at my hand like this, you see it does have a lot of light. So if you had a book in front of you to use this as a reading light, or if you needed to use it for paperwork or something like that, and you just want to be able to push it on, push it off, it's quite adequate for that. It's light, and I'll be showing off in more detail in the next segment, but I think it does a very good job of giving you general illumination, and I could, if I were to mount this slightly lower on my clothing, I could use this to walk without difficulty. For example, I could clip this onto my belt loop and it would illuminate the ground in front of me sufficiently to walk in, but it's really meant for chest height or collar height. And there's Spam. She wants to get in the action. But that's what it's meant to be used for, and I think it really does quite a nice job. This is something I just happened to find while I was at Home Depot today, and I thought I'd pick one up and see how it works, and give it a review. There she is, isn't she cute? Oh, yes.
Greetings YouTube. Today I shall be talking about an Energizer flashlight. This is the magnetic light. Or magnet light, sorry, I keep saying magnetic, which is LED. It says try me. It is 25 lumens, runs for 14 hours, and is splash resistant. It came with some literature, which I honestly have not opened. And the container was relatively easily to open, which is a nice feature. So this is the light in question. It is held in place with a magnet like this. So you take it like this and you clip it onto a piece of clothing, and it will hold that up, hold on to that, and it's got, the magnets actually are pretty strong. Give me an example here. I mean, that's holding up a fair amount of weight without any issue. This is covered in a silicone, I believe this is silicone, from the feel and from the way it stretches, silicone cover. The magnet itself on this side is exposed. This magnet is also exposed. So you can mount this way on a vertical surface. You can put it on the outside of a car or in a toolbox when you're not using it. So you can store it easily without any difficulty. It came in a number of different colors. This was green. It came in, I think, 3 other colors. I just grabbed this one because I like the green. And the cover does come off. You can actually pry the cover off for getting to the screw there, which will then let you open up the device and change the battery. It's got a simple on and off button. On, off. Now, when it was first purchased, it had a temporary on feature. So if you hit this button, pardon me, I've got a cold at the moment. Hit this button, 5 seconds later, the light would go off. This is so that when it's on display, if someone goes, "Oh, look it's a flashlight," and walks away, it doesn't stay on. To get that to go off, and there was a sticker on the back describing how to do this with pictograms. Hold the button in, count to 10, it will blink a few times, and then it will stay permanently on. This honeycombed pattern you see here is actually in the plastic lens of the flashlight itself. This cover is clear. It doesn't have any texture to it. It would be very difficult to cast that into rubber anyway. Much easier to do it into the harder material. And this button is actually recessed. The back of this is actually a little bit thicker than the rest of the silicone. And you can mount it vertically like this on a shirt pocket, or you can mount it horizontally on a shirt or a jacket. The section I did before this was on the sweatshirt I'm currently wearing. But it would fit in any of these circumstances. You could also put it on top of a collar of a a t-shirt if you wanted it a little higher, or if you wanted it lower, say if you needed to walk somewhere, you could put it onto a pocket of a pair of jeans. This disc does have a magnet, and the magnets are relatively strong, so taking that into account, you're not going to want to put this thing near anything that's going to have adverse effects if it's being exposed to a magnet. So for example, you don't want to put this near your wallet, because your cards in there could potentially be adversely affected by this device. Also, it recommends not using this if you have medical devices such as a pacemaker or a defibrillator. Sorry. But it's a clever little design. It's really elegantly simple. And I gotta tell you, that is ridiculously fun to do. I was just sat at the computer like playing with this thing repeatedly. It's just fun to do. The only downside I see about this particular coating, the surface on this, is it picks up hair relatively quickly, and I think you're going to have to, if you're going to be using this on a regular basis, you may want to wipe it down with a damp cloth on a regular basis just to keep it clean, because it's going to pick up stuff because of of what it's made out of. But it is splash resistant. If you have this on a shirt, so long as the liquid doesn't get inside there, completely soaking it, and then wick its way in, you should be pretty safe. And in this side itself, getting it wet wouldn't matter at all. It's just a magnet. But this side would actually have to get into this panel in there. So it would be difficult to get this wet if you were just using it on a day-to-day basis, walking here to and from locations in the rain. You'd have to really be drenched to be concerned about that. But I picked this up for $7, I believe, at Home Depot. I have no idea how long they're going to be available. I have no idea how long they've been on the market. But I quite like this design. I think it was quite clever. It's very handy. It's, to my mind, very functional for cops and nurses and people on rounds, and just someone that needs a flashlight that you can clip in place. It's going to be always present because it's on your person. It's really light. Will not mar or harm your clothing when you do this. So I think it's a really solid design, and I'm quite pleased to see it.